Taylor here, Oliver and Gio, and we're here with another Smart Session video for you. So today Oliver is working on several things. Let me try to summarize as best as I can. So the first thing we worked on today was loose leash walking on a long line, which seems counterintuitive, but Oliver has been, leash training has been ingrained with Oliver. He's been on a 6-foot leash for the past 2 years now, so he really understands how to walk on a loose leash with a 6-foot lead. However, we suspect that not really. He understands it if he reaches the end of that leash that he has to come back. Meanwhile, if there's no feeling of a leash, he typically doesn't stay near you, which is what we're working on. So our loose leash training program focuses on getting the dog to, yes, walk near you, but without the need of them getting to the end of that leash or feeling like they are off leash, if that makes any sense. So the really best way to practice loose leash skills is actually have them be on a long line like this. So he's not on the harness as well. So Oliver's also he's learned how to do these things on the harness. So I'm teaching him instead, you know what, you could do the same thing on a collar, leash the collar without that feeling of the harness being on, and let's see if you can still learn. And for him, it was a huge challenge. He didn't understand that I wanted him to be near me, and also I didn't want to depend on a lure. That's another thing we really didn't focus on today. We really did not want to focus on just luring him next to us. We want to make sure that we rewarded him at the moments that he's doing a really good job. Or you will continue to get that yo-yo effect of I pull forward and I go back to mom and get a treat. I pull forward, I start pulling and go back to mom and get a treat. Nope, you get a treat when you are doing the exact thing I need you to do, which is walking next to me. And I hope all that makes sense. So loose leash training. The other training we focused on was leave it again. We are hammering that leave it, getting him to leave certain things alone. If Gio moves a certain way, I want him to leave it. If he hears a family member doing something, leave them alone as well. But the biggest lever for him was the door. So we focus on the door again. Can you leave the door alone when the door is being messed with? And can you walk next to me while this is happening? This is a tall order for Mr. Oliver, and he really did struggle at first. But the last few minutes, he really started to shine. So you're going to see us recreate that session. We show way better than we tell. But yeah, you'll see us do leave it, but also the biggest thing about our cues. Can he offer it without us telling him to do so? With bolting in particular, we cannot cue him all the time. He just needs to know, can you leave the door alone naturally? What we hope to do through this training is we have ingrained leave with the door so much, he starts offering leave like right now, good boy. It may not seem like nothing, but he finally stopped pacing and now he's next to me, which is really awesome. So you see us mess with the door or just do things around the door. You'll hear G with a key, but really dissect everything we're doing and practice as shown. This is a really good way to practice with him. Of course, make sure that collar is snug enough. You don't want to be able to fit more than 2 fingers. Right now it's kind of loose. You don't want to be able to fit more than 2 fingers on this collar. Make sure it's snug and make sure that leash is attached properly. We do not want him getting away from you. Safety first always. That being said, we're going to get started. That's the remote for the camera. So right now I'm not moving. Right now I'm just focusing on, can you disengage from the door by yourself? See how he's staring at the door the entire time? He is not looking away. He's actually walking forward. Leave it. Yes, good boy, good job. That was an excellent leave it, but again, I don't want to have to focus on leave it all the time. There are going to be times where the door's open and I'm not close enough or I don't see it happening. So I need him to leave it naturally. But I am very glad that leave is working in this moment. Good boy. Right there, he looked at you and looked away, which is really awesome. Yes, good boy. Good job. Quick note, your family is here today. He's actually way more distracted today than normal, which is perfect for us. We got to see him in his most natural Oliver state. It's a really good time for you to practice too. Grab the long line, make sure everything is snug. Practice this. Try to have someone open the door a little bit. Leave it. Good job. I just messed with the door handle. You may even have to open it to get his attention and see that leave is working. And then see if he can offer you a leave it. Another important thing for Oliver is that you really need a high value treat. Meat, deli meat, hot dogs. Get some hot dogs. We use hot dogs, so I recommend getting something else other than hot dogs, like chicken. You could boil some chicken. You can get some deli meat. He needs a much higher value treat for this exercise because this is very hard for him. If he's been doing the bolting for a long time, think of it as an ingrained addiction for him. We need something that's even better than addiction if that makes any sense. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. I'm also giving him a jackpot treat for this. This is hard as hell. The door is open and Gio is not paying attention to it. She is, but she's not. She's making noises. She's shuffling keys. All of his triggers are happening right now. Oliver, can you leave it? Yes, a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. You cannot over-treat this when he does succeed. Yes, good boy. I'm happy you could just see his head right now. You can literally see his ears and eyes or his head working. Oliver, you gotta leave it. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Gio being a very irresponsible human. She's shuffling. Leave it, Oliver. Let's go. Good boy. Notice that I'm also not putting any tension on that leash. I'm letting him mess up a little bit. I don't want the tension on leash, yes, to be the indicator of him stopping. He needs to know how to do this off leash. So I'm going to give him the illusion the best I can. Now, I'm not going to get outside the, past that first round. I'm not going to let that happen. But I want to see, Oliver, can you leave it? Yes, good boy. Good job. That was really good. I want to see if he can still listen, even if he doesn't feel that tension on his neck. Really important that you do this as well. Again, he is very used to being trained with that tension around his neck or on his harness. We need him to know, leave it. Cues still matter. Good job. If you're off leash. Oliver, can you leave it? Come here. Come on, come. Yes, good job. Make sure you are as exciting as possible. Notice that when he was kind of messing up a little bit, I started whistling after I said leave it. Use your prompts. Be very exciting. Practice being very exciting. You good boy. Yes, and you'll see that gets his attention way better than being stern and boring. We have to really raise the excitement. Oliver, can you leave it? There we go. So right here's the hard part, right here. So Gio moved away completely, and yes, good boy, good boy. Moved away completely, the door is open a little bit wider. Now we know where our cutoff point is from this turn of this practice. He's not ready for the door to be wide open yet, but he is almost there. He did really good today. This is really awesome work. So that is our session for today. In terms of loose-leash training, I'm going to show you briefly how that looks. This long line is very long. It's 30 feet long. I recommend making it a little bit shorter. You do not have to use a clicker for this. All you're going to do, you're going to walk forward and backwards. I recommend doing this in your backyard in particular because you have more of a line, more of a pathway, I'm sorry. Good job. Whenever he is close to you, give him a treat. Good boy. Just like that. Good job. If he moves away from me, let's see if he does it. No, okay, good boy. If he moves away from me, all I'm going to do is wait where I'm at. I'm going to stop where I am, wait for him to come back and give him treats. This is a really good way to do loose-leash training, but it's also a really good way to teach him you don't have to feel that tension on your harness to listen to me. You can listen to me kind of freestanding, if it makes any sense, with the illusion of being off leash. Good job. Good job. I highly recommend practicing inside and then taking it to your backyard to see if you can do the same thing. Well, Oliver did amazing today. Really good session for him. I highly recommend practicing this way, but also getting those really high value treats that he does not have right now. These treats were high value, but these are now pretty basic for him now because he's been getting these in his house for a long time. I recommend getting something different, again, meat, boiled chicken, deli meat, something like that that will get his attention. He loves cheese. You can try cheese as well. Just have it on deck when you do practice this and take your time. Don't get frustrated. That being said, Oliver did amazing today. Have a good day. Bye.